Hello everybody, welcome back to the Osceola YouTube channel on this very windy Tuesday. My name is Nick Carlisle. This is publisher Jerry Kutz. Behind the camera is Bob Ferrante holding the tripod because it is a very, very windy day here in the aftermath of Hurricane Debbie. Before we get started today, we do want to tell you about a special promotion. So if you have been enjoying not only our coverage of preseason practice, but the first impressions, and you want to have advanced coverage of this Florida State football team, we're running a special, Jerry, 70% off for an entire year. So that's a fantastic deal. You get all of our recruiting coverage as Florida State is potentially ramping up to a top 10 recruiting class. You get analysis from former players and alumni. You get the whole kit and caboodle. You'll get it for 70% off if you go to floridastate.rivals.com and enter code FSU70. Again, more information will be in the description below, but we wanted to tell you about that deal in case you've been really enjoying the coverage from the past couple of weeks, but you thought, maybe that price for the full year subscription is a little bit too much. But diving into practice today, Jerry, you never want to say that nothing really substantial happened during practice today, but it was very much so a cleanup day for Florida State football. Practicing and cleaning up some of the mistakes that the coaches kind of caught after they looked at the tape from the scrimmage on Saturday. What were some of the things that sticked out to you today?
Well, the first thing is what you mentioned. You hear coaches say there's some things we got to clean up with our tackling. Adam Fuller mentioned that in the scrimmage. And we saw a lot of that. We saw, tackling drills, some basic fundamentals that they're trying to clean up the technique of tackling. And then in other segments, you saw other work being done to clean up details. Those were the things that, for the most part, this practice was about. And a lot on special teams. Again, Mike spends a lot of time with special team details. So there were a lot of those kind of things. It was an 18-period practice, and they did scrimmage for about, I'd say, 6 of those periods.
Yeah, so I think one of those important scrimmage periods was the third period that we saw earlier today, where it was, I believe, 1:45 on the clock, and essentially the first team offense had the entire 1:45 to drive down, score some points, kick a field goal. The first drive didn't go so well, but eventually DJ and the rest of the offense were able to lead down, get a field goal in the second attempt there. Something that we saw from DJ that I really enjoyed seeing was a lot of rolling out of the pocket, using DJ more as a runner. Obviously, DJ is really good in the pocket, but to see him be able to roll out, use his legs, that's something that's going to be very versatile in this offense. But you're right, a lot of special teams today, a lot of installing things that may or may not be used either for the offense or the defense. The football team heads to Jacksonville this week. We'll be covering that as well. I feel like Jacksonville really is kind of like the halfway point in terms of, like, maybe not numerically, but it's the halfway point perception-wise in terms of, preseason camp. Jerry, what are you looking forward, or what do you want to see the most, not only through Jacksonville, but through the second half of these practices?
You want to see the team come together and become one. Culture changes. At the end of every football season, and Coach Bowden used to say this, Jimbo would say it, Willie probably said it, is at the end of one season, that team dies, and you've got a brand new team on your hands. And last year's team had tremendous chemistry, and a lot of those people credited it to the time they spend together in Jacksonville. One thing I think maybe some of our listeners don't realize is here in Tallahassee, they have a football dorm, per se, an apartment, Champions Hall, but a lot of the players live around campus, and so they don't live together like they used to 3 decades ago. But Jacksonville brings them together, and they room with people that they normally might not room with. They eat together. I think Mike will have them running skits or having to sing for the team, and team building exercises. So it's not just about the practices that Bob and I will be over there to watch, but it's what they're doing off the field that I think is super important right now in bringing this team together for the upcoming season.
Yeah, absolutely. Culture is extremely important. That wraps up day 11 of Florida State preseason practice. Again, if you're interested in that special 70% discount for an entire year of Florida State coverage, whether it's football, baseball, softball, any sport that you want, we've got all covered at the Osceola You can go to floridastate.rivals.com and enter FSU 70. Again, if you didn't get all of that information will be in the description. We hope to see you on site to talk more about Florida State athletics. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new to the YouTube channel, and we will see you all another time.